Let's talk about how to magnetize pre-sold dream clients that are paying you high ticket prices with ease. So you feel in flow so that it feels natural. You don't have to twist yourself into some psychological pretzel to make that happen. There are three components that, if they are implemented in your business, will help you attract people to you naturally. Without them, we struggle. So if you are right now a coach with a spiritual bent, maybe you're a personal transformation coach, maybe you're a life coach, maybe you are doing some energy healing or something like that, like a relationship coach or some sort of a executive coach, leadership coach, all of those have one thing in common. You are selling something that's intangible. And this is one thing that we got to remember, that in this world today, there's a lot of people who are saying that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And I don't try to put anybody down or anything like that, but just think about it. There's so much free stuff on YouTube that anybody can go and just listen to hours and hours and hours about how to, live more consciously or feel more connected or whatever. So if you are right now at the place where you know that you actually have years of expertise, or that you are at the place where you've been seeing paying clients and they have great results, and you're an expert. Like, you're not somebody who just read a book and now talking about it. You've been doing this for a while and you're good at it. You know that, like, hey, I really do help people. I really have incredible transformations happen when I'm working with my clients. Then you need to learn these three components that I'm going to talk about today, because without them, you sound very similar to a lot of free stuff. And nothing wrong with free, but free is average. Free is sort of like the common denominator that is available. And yes, our culture progressed. Whatever was freely available, let's say in the 80s or 90s, now obviously is upgraded, in 2000s and, now in 2020s and so on, like going on and on. Every 20 years, there's next level upgrade happens in mass consciousness as to what's just common sense and available. But it's up to you how you are going to show up to differentiate yourself from all of that. That is not something that's just going to happen by accident. So for all of you who are saying, like, yeah, I just don't like sales and marketing, like, I don't want to deal with that. I just want ideal clients to come to me and pay me like $5,000 or $7,000 for my programs. Well, how do you propose that's going to happen if nobody knows you exist? And if they do know you exist, they don't see how you are different than all the free stuff out there. Why would somebody pay you higher price for something that to them sounds like everything else? You wouldn't, right? So maybe you're the coach who's saying in your marketing a lot of inspirational things. Maybe you're posting inspirational quotes from some other people and you're not even saying anything yourself. Or maybe you're writing things like, you can do it, it's amazing, life is great, and wow, when I just today was walking in the park and the energy was great. Nothing wrong with that if that is a teeny little component of your actual marketing strategy. But if you don't have a strategy and instead that's all you're posting, that's not going to resolve in a client that's going to come and pay you $5,000 or more. If you are right now at the place when you're trying to create content, but what you're saying is, I help my clients live their best life and arrive to the next level of personal transformation, that sounds just like all the free stuff on YouTube. So you might be an expert, but if you don't understand how marketing and sales work, then you are not literally attracting to you correct people, because people who are willing to pay high ticket prices are different types of people. Those are not the people who will buy $100 session or $27 course. They're not interested in that. They already done that many, many, many times. They already understand that. They probably been in therapy for years. They probably had different coaches before you and different healers before you. They are looking for something else. And it's actually our job as the people who are delivering the service to figure out what that is. So it is a common way of thinking out there that you're supposed to use some preset scripts for sale or create some structured 20-step funnel or have like multi-level email sequences on the back end. And all of those things seem overwhelming if you are not able to even figure out how to speak in a way that it converts to paying clients. What I want to say here is that if you're looking at all this stuff and thinking like, oh, I need to create a course, and then you run into, I need to learn how the software work, and then you run into, I need to figure out the funnel, and now I need to buy the video editing software, and now I need this, and now I need to learn this, and before long it's 200 things. None of those things you need, because in the end, even if you learn all of that and spend tons of money and a year of your time, that course will not sell after you putting all that effort, because by then the train has left the station. Whatever the energy vortex that created that is already gone. And here you are stuck in the rigid war games with the technology or some wording or following somebody else's structure. That's not going to result in ease or flow. So understanding what you actually need at the level of the business that you're at is super important. So if you are somebody right now who's already at 100,000 or more, so you're like at six figures and going into 250,000 or further, you are at the place where you do need to check, is your message actually perfectly matching the type of person you want? Like, are there holes in how you're bringing your information through? There probably are. That's what I see with most people who come to me at that level. Do you have the back end cleaned up? Most of the time, not. So I've seen people who are selling at 200,000 level and more in their business of some sort of a spiritual coaching and didn't even have like email sequences on the end and were stuck having to market to bring in more new leads. And then once the new lead watched their webinar or whatever it is that they were putting at the front end, like consume their free gift, then that's it. There was nothing else. That's it. So if they didn't buy at that point, then that just go after the next lead. That's insane because that's inefficient. And this is how you get stuck having to work way harder than you need to. So for the ones of you who don't know me, I'm Eugenia Oganova. I am a spiritual business coach, and I use quantum creation and linear business strategies to help you align your business to your unique soul design so that you are actually having that ease and flow while generating good financial stability and being a conduit for wealth from the universal energy so that your business is working correctly for you. And I've been able to work just a few days a week generating 6 and 7 figures. So I do this literally with my clients. Like we figure out which level of business you're at and what are the issues here energetically and business strategy wise. So I started talking about like if you are at 6 figures already and maybe further, a lot of the efficiency is where you need to focus in so that you can expand your wealth capacity further. This is where a lot of times people come to me saying, I want to scale. Why can't I scale? And then we look at what they're trying to scale and it's not scalable. It's too much dependent on their own presence, their own involvement, and it has no back-end structures, no automations. So this is where that material component needs to be adjusted so that we can help you adjust your wealth energetics to expand. Now you can start attracting clients at the higher fee or more of them into whatever program you have. Now, if you're somebody who's at the place of like, okay, I'm an expert, I've been working with clients, I know what I'm doing, but why can't I bring in people who are buying my higher ticket programs? And maybe you're looking at all the stuff online and kind of getting freaked out about, oh my God, I need to like learn this software and build this funnel and do this website. None of this is relevant. You can literally generate $500,000 without even having a website. You don't need it. This is kind of an outdated thinking. So because you've not been in the world actively engaged with what's going on in the current capacity of software and AI and all that stuff that just like starting now, but going to skyrocket really quickly, you're still thinking that you need to create a course, you need to learn how to do videos, you need to, have your website. You don't actually need to. Now, it's true that if we're talking again, the person who's already at 100,000 or more, you should have a website. You should have email sequences. You should have a good editing software for your videos because you're at the level where it makes sense. But if you're not at that level, then don't get yourself twisted into a pretzel trying to make that work because that's not where your effort needs to be going. We only have so much energy, right? So much mental capacity to focus. And you want to use that energy efficiently. Like efficiency is one of my values that I really treasure. So everything that could be done more efficiently. And the more efficient you are, the better your energy expenditure, because then you're in syntropy, which means the universe is starting to give to you. And now you're receiving and you are in flow without having to put out so much. And part of that is knowing what to focus on. And this is where we arrive to the three things that I promised that I would share with you today. The one thing that you absolutely require in your business in order to sell higher ticket offers is that you need to understand your unique methodology. You need to be able to clearly explain that to people. What I mean by that is we all do things in a certain progression and in a certain way. We utilize our unique talents, and it's not something you have learned in school. Like if you studied to be a life coach, or if you studied some specific technique and it gave you like, okay, this is how you can talk to a client, and then you ask this question or whatever, or you studied some shamanic technique or healing technique. Those are all awesome. But chances are you are doing them your own way. I have never met somebody who wanted to be out there in the world and felt like they had a soul mission and they were using to the T exactly how some teacher somewhere told them. That's not going to happen. Usually what would happen is you learn something because you were craving that knowledge, because something in your spirit connected, maybe in a past life you were a shaman or whatever, and you're like, oh, I need this. You got that piece, it activated within you, and now it's integrated into who you are. So you now have a unique delivery. Even if you're using some methodology somebody else come up with, but you have your own way. And chances are it's not one thing, right? Because, hey, we are not one-trick ponies, right? We are all very much creative, spiritual people, which means you probably studied 200 different things. And you and I both know that it can be complicated when you're trying to like pick which one to focus on, because, well, I can do this and I also can do that. I can channel and I can also, bring this energy over here. I can work with abundance. I can work with relationships. Well, the key is to focus on the thing that is most energetically attractive to your audience, that carries most of the frequency, which I'll talk about in a second, and to then put together an explanation of what is it that you do, and in the words that your ideal people can understand. If you start using a lot of technology words, or a lot of words that are like unique within your whatever modality you've studied, chances are that would be not clear for somebody who is on the receiving end of that message. So understanding your methodology, developing the wording for it, and the ability to clearly explain it, that's what you need. For example, I'll give you mine. So if you and I decide to work together, the first thing we're going to do is look into your soul design. We're going to look at how you're built and what is your profit potential. Like, how are you actually meant to bring in wealth? What is that you need to anchor your vortex on in order to attract to you what you want, so you don't have to be chasing it? Then we're going to look, who is this gift for? Who are the specific people who require that very thing that you are bringing into the world, that you're a master of? Once we know that, now we create the methodology based on that, in the words that your ideal people, the future clients, can understand. Once you have that methodology, we package that with the higher price tag into an offer that blends together all the modalities and experiences that you have already gone through in your life. So you don't have to choose like, well, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do like a different course on that and a different program on that. Instead, we combine all of that into an amalgamation of unique something that only you can do. Wow, right? Now you got a way to talk about it. You know who you're talking to, you know how you're going to deliver the thing, and you have the price tag attached to it. And the next step, if we work together, would be to figure out how you're going to bring this out into the world. What would be your way to create the vortex to generate leads that come into your world, and how you're going to be converting them into paying clients. which includes learning about sales, learning about marketing, learning about lead generation, but also energetically the quantum nonlinear creation, like setting anchor in the quantum field for your future self to bring that in, self-mastery components, cleaning up karmic and societal overlays, all this conditioning and imprinting so that you can emerge as the powerful leader that you're meant to be to affect human collective. So that's pretty clear and it's pretty simple. Obviously, it's not so simple when we do the work, but this is a clear explanation. I'll give you another methodology from one of my clients. She works with clearing up karmic patterns within people. So what she does is she starts with someone's pattern map and understanding which specific patterns affect that person and how. Then they dive into which patterns are connected to people who are alive currently and which patterns connected to people who have died. Then they go through specific patterns of cleaning both of those up and extracting power from those different pathways so that the inheritance of her, whatever it is that the people brought in, could be applied into current life. And I don't remember how she ends with that, but you can see how that's a pretty clear thing versus saying like, well, I'll help you clean up your karma, which is what she was saying before, which nobody knows what it even means. So that's why you want to have methodology clearly defined and in the words that you can explain. Once you have that, now you have a possibility of selling a higher ticket program. So that's secret number one. Secret number two is what I already started to mention here. That's part of my methodology is understanding who is this for so that you have a message that actually converts. What that means, what conversion means is that somebody heard it and they didn't just think like, oh, that's nice, oh, that was helpful. But they actually thought, oh my God, I need to talk to her. I need to sign up with her. I need to work with her. She's my next mentor, coach, teacher. Like I gotta go that way. That's conversion, especially if they got on a sales call and especially if they actually purchased from you. So now you converted somebody who just heard about you and thought this was interesting and nice to somebody who is working with you and fully getting the benefit from your amazing gift. Because really the only way they can get the full benefit is being in your world. So they have to be the paying client. Understanding that pathway, that is unique to each person. There are millions of strategies out there. I know tons of them, but not all of them are going to apply to you, especially depending which level of business you're at. If you right now have, let's say, some lead generation tool, like maybe you create conferences or you have podcasts or you have maybe you're running Facebook ads or YouTube ads or something like that, like paid advertising. Maybe you're doing networking events. That's different than somebody who, let's say, doesn't have anything like that. So you want to understand where you're at and what you need to do. But the key piece here that I think most people are missing is you have to energetically be clear which frequency you are at when you are aligned and fully channeling your gift to the world, when you're working with your clients and like it's magic, it happens, it works. And then who are the specific people who on a soul level already contracted to work with you because they need that gift. Universe is a very efficient place. It's not going to put you here with a gift, with some capacity to help people, with no people who need to be helped by that thing. That's not how it works. So obviously there are people who require the very thing that you're bringing through. But you specifically, not just somebody who's a life coach, but you who may be utilizing some life coaching techniques, but specifically you because of your frequency. So all of this is the secret number two here, is understanding who those ideal people are, how they're thinking, what is your gift frequency and the frequency that they're at, so that you're delivering your message at that frequency. So that's part of the strategy and part of the energetics, the nonlinear strategy. Understanding those two things and marrying them together, no matter what level of business you're at, that creates higher efficiency, higher conversions, and this is where you're able to sell higher ticket offers to people who come to you already wanting to buy. So they are pre-sold people, okay? So number three part is The vortex. This is the part that I think most people don't teach because business coaches don't even know about that. And spiritual people, they might understand the vortex, but they don't know the business structure. So because I'm unique in that, like that's my unique gift, is that I'm very practical and able to do business strategy and been doing it for like 30 years successfully. So I know what I'm talking about. I have hundreds of clients that are all successful. And at the same time, I am spiritually masterful. I am self-masterful, and I teach self-mastery. That's a transcension methodology that I teach. So I blend the two together. This is what I call the quantum client attraction system, where you're not just blindly going out there and burning out and running out of energy because you're trying to do it at your own charge. And it feels hard. It feels like friction. Instead, you create an energy vortex that is supported by the universal flow. The reason that happens is because you step into syntropy. Syntropy means that you are the conduit for wealth, that it's not about you anymore. You are here to serve. So it's not about how do I get paid? How do I get clients? You don't get anything. It just is. There are clients, there are money, there's things just are in the universe. But what do you magnetize into your vortex depends on the frequency you're at and who's feeding that frequency. If that frequency is being fed by you, you're going to probably attract some people, but it's going to feel extremely hard, and it's going to feel like you're running out of steam, this is how a lot of times people get to like six figures and then burn out. You might be one of them, right? Like you did all the right things in quotes and you got yourself there and you sold your program and you filled your group or whatever. And now you need like a year off because that's it. It's like no more steam left. That's because you build a vortex and you sort of follow the energetics, but you did it on your own energy. You did it in entropy. What I teach is how to do it in syntropy. So that means you are in a flow of wealth. You are the conduit for wealth that is, and now it's being magnetized to you and flows through your vortex in the form of money and clients. Money does not come from clients, it comes from the universe. So you are naturally able to maintain that, and you become the quantum anchor for the future reality that you desire. That is my conscious future methodology. So if all this stuff that I'm talking about here and you're going like, wow, this is a totally different angle, I didn't know about this, or maybe you knew some parts of it, but you have no idea how to, let's say, marry this multidimensional energetics to something material and business strategy that actually works, then you and I should talk. This is what we can do on the call. There's no pressure. It's like literally we look at your situation, what is going on in your business, what is the dream here, like what do you actually want to create and why? And then what are the components that need to be adjusted, upgraded, let go of, or how perhaps you need to modify where you're putting your effort so that it's more efficient. And if we are a match to work together, of course, I will tell you how I can help you. So I'm not going to leave you hanging there with like, okay, how do I do this? I will tell you how and what we can do to get that going. So in just few months, you literally can shift out of this struggle and friction and hustle and confusion maybe, and even like fear to start, or maybe pressure from things that feel so overwhelming and you're at the burnout age and like thinking maybe I should just walk away. How can you just end all that? And in 3-4 months, be at the place of, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know where I'm putting my energy. There's spaciousness. I'm attracting clients that are a match to me. I'm experimenting and I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling in flow. It feels like there's ease. I'm not hating sales or marketing. I'm actually kind of loving it. Like it's easy and fun. That's where we want to be. And this is literally what we can do in a very short period of time if you choose to step into my world and have me as your ally. So if you are at the place where you already understand a lot of the business strategy and you arrived at certain level of wealth, maybe past six figures, but you're realizing your capacity now is limited and you need to do something next level. You want to, your soul is calling you to the next level, but you're not sure how to do that without burning out. or without creating another program, or without having 200 people in your team, or having constant live launches that maybe feel like they're too complicated for you. It's all possible, because that probably your soul design is not quite aligned with those things, and maybe you got there by doing it, but now you can't keep doing it. That's okay. If we talk and we look at how you're built and what actually needs to adjust, we can clear the path to where you need to adjust yourself, your energetics, and business strategy to have that experience of ease and wealth. So depending where you're watching this or listening this, you can DM me, or you can leave the word wealth under the video, and I will contact you on Messenger, and we can set up how we're going to go forward. You can also check out the free mini series that describes the process that I bring my clients through, so you can see how that works. That is expandyourwealthcapacity.com. It's free. You can go there. You can watch these teeny little videos. They're like 10, 15 minutes, and understand what is it that you might be missing. You might be doing one part, but not the other part, or maybe you confused about the whole thing. And by watching this, you'd be like, oh, now I get where the pieces are that need to be put together into the puzzle. And if you want my help with that, definitely let's connect and get on the call, look at your specific situation, and figure out how I can be of service to you and your business, because I know that you are meant for bigger things that you're tinkering with right now. You know this, right? It's in your being, like you're resonating with this because something in you is calling you to the next level. You understand that this is something that you meant to do. This is not just like ego. You want to be special and famous? No, most of us don't. Like, I never wanted to be famous. I wanted to be known among people who I can be of service to. And I'm sure the same with you. So when you understand that, like, okay, I'm at the place where this needs to shift, well, wouldn't you rather that change to be harmonious and in flow? Even though, of course, there's work involved, like every business is work, but wouldn't you rather do efficient work that actually gets you where you want to go versus just randomly kind of poking at different things that just feel overwhelming and not fun, kind of rigid? Of course you wouldn't. One of the things that I naturally do is I open quantum doors. What that means is you get from where you are now to sort of a quantum leap, a whole other place in your reality, like a huge upgrade without having to do 200 steps to get there. I've done that in my life many times. I help my clients do that, and I would love to help you do that. So find a way to connect with me. There's a link underneath this video when you can literally set up a call, or you can DM me. Let's connect and get you to that place where you know you are living your soul mission and you are fully financially resourced for doing it. And you feel like you are in flow of life. There's spaciousness and there's ease. My love to you.